just a quick little snippet of the Jimmy Dore Show. We can't get everything we want. That's simply the reality. Any one person can say no.
You especially can't get everything you want if you don't do anything to get what you want.
Good point, Jimmy Dore. So, yeah, this is an MSNBC clip, and so I'm just going to, do like a Bernie Sanders. Oh, I'm Bernie Sanders. I used to be, the hero of the working class, but now I'm just an empty suit. So, Mehdi Hasan asked Bernie Sanders how come he doesn't flex his Senate power, the grassroots, progressive grassroots online or some shit. They want to know how come, you got Joe Manchin. He's a senator from West Virginia, and he keeps fucking the American people over. He's already fucked the American people over on those $2,000 checks. What $2,000 checks? Exactly. They're $1,400 because of Joe Manchin. And then he also made sure the $15 minimum wage was cut out. So Joe Manchin, this is, right-wing Democrat, probably where the pulse of, right of center America actually is. But this is Joe Manchin, so he's going to be cutting, killing all these universal health care and getting rid of the Patriot Act and, Edward Snowden, bringing Edward Snowden back home. Joe Manchin is going to stop every progressive idea that's out there. And he's only one senator, and Bernie Sanders makes the point, any one person can say no. Any one person can say no. So by saying no and saying, well, okay, I might do it, so and so and so, I'll do your good idea if you do my good idea, a quid pro quo, which is politics 101 in terms of policy. I'll sign your legislation, you sign mine. But you have only one person can say no, so flex your goddamn power, Bernie Sanders. My God, he wants to sit there. And also, I'll mention this too. Bernie Sanders is going on and on about how the rescue plan, the $1,400 rescue plan, was the greatest, emergency legislation would have you. Apparently, it's like the most expensive plan and this and that. And then there's some sort of child tax credit. And so they're making the claim that it's going to cut childhood poverty in half, which is fantastic because here in Castilla County, you got 33% of the children that are in poverty. So cutting that in half would, that's what, 17%? That would be fantastic. But both of these things are bullshit. The child poverty tax credit, how much money are you actually getting with that damn tax credit? And also $1,400 check. $1,400 check, this is the great rescue plan that is going to make America great again. This $1,400 is going to just pay for what? A couple months rent, and then that's it. $1,400 is going to go just as fast as the $600 and the $1,200 checks before it did. We need universal basic income until the pandemic is over. $2,000 every fucking month until the pandemic is over. That's what we need. That's what we need. And we need somebody in Congress that's actually pushing for this shit. But we have no progressives in Congress that actually knows how to push for a progressive agenda. Bernie Sanders eventually at the very end is going to talk about how the American people want a progressive agenda, so we're still going to, push for the progressive agenda. But the way that power works is you want this rescue plan, right? You want to keep on giving Joe Biden all these damn victories. Well, you got this big fat infrastructure plan, and so that's a, you must pass. And so when you have a must-pass legislation, just like Gene Ugar says, that's when you got leverage. So you got an infrastructure plan that you must pass. He's sitting there promoting the damn shit. He's an empty suit. He's just sitting there promoting, the administration. He might as well just say, who gives a shit about progressivism at this point if we can just incrementalism? Bernie Sanders has now signed on to incrementalism when it comes to, moving this nation forward. It's already April 9th. May 1st is 100 days. We haven't got jack shit done in 100 fucking days. It's not even close. The fact that something got done, I'm surprised that something, yeah, kind of. Yeah, Mr., barely even there, Mr. Tripping Up the Steps was able to get something passed. So, tripping up steps. And that looked really bad. That looked really bad. It looked like he couldn't catch himself. That looked like, he's slowly but surely going to the Great Divide, going past the Great Divide.
If you're not willing to use your leverage, which is what Mehdi Hasan just asked you, you're not going to get anything you want, which is why you didn't get anything you wanted. There's no public option. There's no $15 minimum wage. There's no health care. So this idea, he's just bullshitting you now. Straight up, right, Ron? Is this a straight up bullshit?
Yeah, I mean, none of those points make any sense whatsoever, and they're all just recycled. And the Democratic Party is like the worst grocery trip ever. Like, all right, I'm back from the grocery store, kids. Are you excited? I'm excited. We're so hungry. Did you get $15 an hour minimum wage? No. What about health care? We've been wanting health care for so long. No health care. Oh, well, what about are you going to help people? Is there going to be a recurring UBI? I've been craving a recurring UBI for so long. We're in a pandemic. No, none of that. But look what I have. Here's some drilling permits. You love drilling permits, right? Oh my God, more drilling permits. They're so gross and there's no vitamins. It sucks. We need to hire someone else to do the shopping.
Watch what he says right at the end here, too. Watch this. He says...
All right, so ask Joe Manchin. Bernie Sanders did give it a dodge. This was a good question. Mehdi Hasan, even though he's part of MSNBC now, MSNBC, he did, at least ask the damn question. And by asking the question, we get to see, what Bernie Sanders' thinking is. And apparently he's a careerist. He's a politician. He's going to go along to get along. He's going to try to, be buddy-buddy with Joe Biden in hopes that he gets something in return. And he may get something in return for that. But it's not the star Bernie Sanders that's, balls to the wall, that speaks his mind, that says, he's going to... get what he wants or else. This is just an empty suit. Oh, okay, we kind of got a little bit of peanuts over here. We got a little bit of scraps over there. So, you should be happy about it. But Bernie Sanders actually wants to fight poverty because that's a big thing, and that's all bullshit that, the whole rescue plan is going to cut childhood poverty in half. Yeah, bullshit. If we actually wanted to cut poverty in half, we would, help the adults, as well as the children. But we need to declare a war on poverty, and then it also has to be a very ambitious plan. Poverty, that's a big fucking problem, right? That's not just a small little, how are you going to combat poverty? We should have been thinking about this a long ass time ago, but reoccurring UBI payments, exactly, Ron Placone was correct with that, and land reform. So get poor people land reform, and then they can at least produce their own food, right? At least they can produce their own food. Universal basic income, because we live in this capitalist America, bank system. But that's what needs to happen. That's what needs to happen. We could also, I don't want to push it too far, but let's eradicate American homelessness. It would only take $5 billion. We just spent that $1 trillion package, $5 billion to get rid of homelessness. If we give a goddamn fuck about one another, which, being the anti-socialist people that we've been this entire time, this is the one socialist. The AOC and Bernie, I like them in terms of American politics. They're the best that we got. But the reason why they deserve to get criticized is just to show you how far we're not even close. America, we need a big progressive, a big, bold progressive agenda. We need Medicare for all. We need to build housing for the homeless. We need to actually get rid of poverty, declare a war on poverty. Yeah, you're going to sit there and try to tell me it's all a bunch of bullshit. It's all a bunch of propaganda after the fact. You went ahead and passed this stupid fucking thing for whatever goddamn reason. Now, hopefully you got in with the good crowd, right? You're on the in crowd now, Bernie, so let's get some changes, right? You can make changes on the inside. Let's see how you can do this. Let's see how you can make changes from the inside. Jimmy Dore is going to point out a clip. We're trying not to play MSNBC. We don't want to platform MSNBC around here. We're not going to give
action from the establishment, right? Why? Because they're actually tools of the establishment. Bernie right now is a flat-out tool of Joe Biden and the Democratic establishment. This is garbage. This is not him fighting. This is not him pushing Joe Biden left. This is him telling you to shut up while we try to push Joe Biden left. Ron?
Yeah, I can't dispute any of that. I mean, and why would I want to? I mean, it's a and the one thing that I also noticed is that he's like, oh, so you support pushing Joe Manchin internally, but not externally. How is that even possible? How would you push Joe Manchin internally? Like, hey, I mean, do you really think that the Joe Manchins of the party, that the...
Bernie can just snatch his favorite muffin out of the, lunch lounge just take Joe Manchin's muffin and say, hey, I'll leave your favorite muffin there if you just, get the American people 15. That's how you put pressure on internally Ron Placone. And so, the final thoughts, Bernie Sanders is, like I said, like the best senator, right, that we got, the most progressive, best senator, and he's had to deal with this fucking, corrupt, stinking-ass swamp establishment for decades, and of course he's got some stench on him. Bernie Sanders voted for the war in Somalia, and he voted for the war, this is under Bill Clinton, war with Somalia, the war with Kosovo. He also signed some sort of Iraqi freedom thing, which is like a no-fly zone. It wasn't war with Iraq, but it allowed Bill Clinton to drop bombs over Baghdad, right? Remember the song, Andre 3000, bombs over Baghdad? So some reason you couldn't bomb the country, but because of the fly zone, you could bomb the skies or something. I don't know, but Bernie Sanders was okay for the pretenses to the Iraq War when it was a Democrat that was doing it. He was for the Kosovo War. He was for the Somali War. So he's, comes in the 80s and saying Ronald Reagan is doing all these wars in Central America, and he's absolutely right. Guatemala, El Salvador, Nicaragua, and Honduras. Obama is going to do some shit in Honduras. But that's the thing, is that Bernie Sanders doesn't seem to be too consistent when it comes to being a dove, being a peacenik. When the Democrats are in power, sometimes he's okay with these these wars of empire and these wars of conquest. Also, Chris Hedges had mentioned how he campaigned for the Clintons. So the Clintons, beat the crap out of him and, rubbed his face and shit, and then, turns around and he's still kissing their ass in the hopes that he'll get some scraps or whatnot. What is it Malcolm X said? That Malcolm X, just the way that the white man is going to respect the black man is just by standing up to them and standing up for themselves. Not only will the black man gain respect for themselves, but the white man will respect the black man as well. And so, yeah, that's,
Mansions of the system know that they're not supporting the thing that 90% of the base wants? Do you think that they don't realize that? They don't realize that they're just thumbing?
So Ron Placone is a fantastic stand for Jimmy Dore, right? I don't know how he gets along with Jimmy Dore, but he's able to do so. And essentially, I don't think Ron Placone has any thoughts about anything, just general things. The system's fucked, so let's get a general strike. He did mention the reoccurring UBI payments, which is, in line with what I want. But he did one time say something about how he doesn't even have beliefs. His only beliefs are we need a general strike. That's his only beliefs. And we would do better as a nation if we turned everything off and then turned it back on. And he's 100% right on those two things. And so I bet you there's, he assists Jimmy Dore, really well. And I hope that, I hope that Jimmy Dore doesn't, treat the people like inferiors, right? Like they're less than. Ron Placone is, definitely assisting Jimmy here and there and everywhere. But he's a good number two. And hopefully, unlike Donald, hopefully, Jimmy Dore rewards loyalty. Because I like these two. And I hope that this relationship carries on.
Considered after they go full-on censorship of an actual story and become partisan hacks. Are you still a journalist of your...
And last but not least, I think what Chris Hedges is essentially his historical analysis of Bernie Sanders is that he's just going to be an asterisk, a footnote in history. He's going to be like the Williams Jennings Bryan. He ran for president, almost got it, but didn't get it. And that's it, almost brushed against history. He had his moment in 2016. He could have been president, both 2020. He actually won the damn president, right? The first three elections in the Democrat. How did he lose that? That doesn't make any sense. I would blame the progressive media online as well as the mainstream media. He won the first three elections. That's historically how all you had to do is win New Hampshire or Iowa, and he won the first three motherfuckers. So he would have won 2016. He would have won 2020. Run as a fucking independent. He built that big base up, and then, but my friend Joe Biden bullshit, and then campaigning with the Hillary, with, he's a careerist. He's got to protect his career, but somebody needs to save America, and sometimes you got to risk your career. And actually, I think you're risking your career by not. standing up. If America doesn't have a big, bold, progressive agenda, we're fucked. We're fucked. So I think we need to actually start working on who the next president is going to be, because I have no confidence in this national government. I like Colorado. I like that I live in Colorado. I feel like Jared Polis is kicking ass, taking names.